Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. And the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story, as hidden identity? My name is Ruva Rashe. You can call me Ruva. I do come from Koromonzi. So it is a rural village that is just outside of Harare, not very far from Harare. Most of my relatives, they stay in Epworth, there in Zim. So my story that I want to tell you, it really hurts me a lot whenever I think about it, because it was never my intention to do such a thing. And each and every day I regret, and it is not an easy thing to live with regret. The guy who got me hooked to that priest from Nigeria, who helped me with the rituals, to my surprise, it's like he does not have a heart. But according to him, he was once my boss. I used to work for that Nigerian man. He said in life, there comes a time when you do not have a heart anymore. Because the problem, when you keep telling yourself that my heart is refusing, my heart says no. You need to throw away your heart so that the Holy Spirit does not come back to you to tell you that do not perform this ritual. And do not do this. When you do not have a heart, when you throw away your heart, then it means that the Holy Spirit cannot make your body to become its temple. And the Holy Spirit, when He is having you as His temple, then you can never become rich, and you can never do things that will make you to become rich. Look at all the rich people. They need to do some things whereby if you ever hear that that was what they did, you will never even believe. Without doing something he used to say that is criminal or being helped by the devil himself, you will never become rich in Africa. I betrayed the one person that I loved the most, who was my own mother. I grew up in a poor but loving Christian home. My mother, she was a beautiful woman. She was a Christian woman. She trusted in the Lord in each and everything that she did. She was a woman of faith, and she was working constantly at all the times, making sure that my siblings, after our father had died in a bus accident when I was 7, we were okay. She will take any kind of work that she could find, from cleaning, washing, cooking. Sometimes she would even beg for food when things got really bad. Life, I can say, was never easy for us, but somehow she managed to keep us alive. I was the firstborn in the family. It was a family of 5. As the eldest daughter, there was a lot of pressure on me to succeed. My mother would always say that, Ruva, you are my hope. You are the hope of this family. If you succeed, if you get married to a man that has money, then it means that we all succeed. Marriage was like my only solution, but not only marriage. I was supposed to get married at least to a man that could afford to take good care of me. And each and every time when a man would approach me, I would make sure that I see if the man has money or not. If the man did not have money, I'll ask myself those questions like, who will take care of my siblings? Who will take care of my mother if I start to date this man that is as broke as this? So I ended up only dating guys that were rich. That was the only solution. When I finished my high school, I did not even have the money to even start a small business. It was impossible. I tried to get a proper job, but I could not. I then went to my sister, who was staying in Epworth. I started working as a maid there in Epworth. I barely made enough to survive. I had a few friends who had left Zimbabwe for South Africa. Then they would send money home each and every month. I'll see their parents going to Mukuru, going to receive the money that their daughters would have sent from South Africa. That was when I decided to leave my country, and I came to Johannesburg. When I arrived in Johannesburg, it was in the year 2019. I thought that life could be easy in South Africa. And when I came here, it was not what I had expected. I struggled to get a job. I thought that being a foreigner, even though you did not have proper documents, people will be chasing after you, forcing you to work for them. But the picture that one of my friends had painted for me, it was different. She said that at the place where she stays, there are always people that come to force her to work for them even when she is refusing. So I thought that within 2 or 3 days I would have been hired. It was hard. I ended up being kicked by my best friend because she was in love with this other man. So she said, you can't give me time to be with my men, so you need to find another place to stay. I spoke with my sister, a distant cousin who was staying in Hillbrow. I started staying with her again. She was complaining that I was eating her food. She was the one who was sleeping with men, and then I just ate the food, not contributing anything. I knew that I had to find really fast. I had to find work fast. Through a friend, I got a job as a maid for a Nigerian man whom I'll just call Chief, like his friends used to call him. So they would call him Chief. He was a businessman, even though I never knew what kind of a business that he was involved in. My cousin in Hillbrow, when she heard that I was working for Chief, he said, make sure that you never question where he gets his money and stay out of his business, and you'll be the best of friends with him. So he owns several properties as well as expensive cars, but there was something about him that I could not understand, because from the very first day he refused me to work inside. Throughout the day he said, I just want you to remove these weeds in the garden. That was all, the whole day. And that garden that he was talking about, you know, the people that are staying in the complexes, they don't have huge gardens. It is just a small lawn. So he said, you just do your thing here. Do not touch your phone. Do not use your phone. You are at work. Just remove the weeds. So I was kneeling there throughout the day, removing weeds, and I was just moving around in one place. Then the next day, that was when he gave me a rule. It was a strict rule. He said, never enter my bedroom. Never touch my bed, or never clean anything inside my bedroom. If I find you did something or you entered there, I will fire you immediately. Do you understand? And I said yes, and I obeyed him. After all, I was just happy because the pay that he was giving me, it was 3.5 a month. To another person who has never been poor in their life, they will think that 3,500 rands, it is nothing, but that is what most of the maids were earning. I did not question anything. As time went on, that was when I started to notice that there were strange things that would happen. Sometimes Chief would stay in his bedroom for days and days, not coming out to eat. Other times he would bring visitors, men and women, and then they would enter into the bedroom. They will start to pray and pray and pray. So I said, God bless you. I am working for my boss who is a true Pentecostal man, and sometimes he would be drinking and smoking, so he will confuse you. The next morning he is a Christian, the next day he is someone who is a heavy drinker. Then I would find basins that will be filled with blood. In this other spare bedroom that also had an in-suite, it had a bathroom in there. So that was the bathroom that I would use when I would be at work. There will be this other bowl or a basin that will be filled with dark, sort of like period blood. The first time when I saw it, I thought that maybe he had brought a girl and that girl maybe had messed up. So when I asked Chief about it, he said, just mind your business. And I just felt bad that this guy, I am trying to look after him, that maybe one of his girls was having the periods and then she just became nasty and then left the blood in that basin and not cleaning after herself. Anyway, I said a job is a job. It was in 2022. My mom fell sick. She had diabetes. My sister, who was back home in Koromonzi, called me. She was in tears. She was like, Ruasha, Mama is getting worse right now. She needs medicine and we don't have money. Please do something. Because I heard that if you are having sugar diabetes, they can even end up cutting your legs. I had just sent money the previous week. I was broke. I did not know where I could get money. That night, while his Chief was out, when I was in this other spare bedroom where I used to sleep in, I made a decision and I said, if I get arrested, I get arrested, but I'm going to steal money from Chief. Because I knew that he always had money. He would leave money in his jean trousers. He would leave money on the couch. I said, if he can forget money on the kitchen counter, how much more can I find in his bedroom? I had the mind of a criminal in that moment. I entered into the bedroom, but the place did not feel so nice. My heart started beating so fast. And then I saw that there were no blankets on his bed, just a thin mattress with a strange symbol of a snake drawn on it. Then there were bottles of the same dark liquid that I had found in that other bedroom. They were in a corner, as well as another clay pot. But I was not there for all of that stuff. I wanted money. I started pacing around looking for something, and then I opened his wardrobe. I saw that there were stacks and stacks of money, rands, US dollars, and a few Nigerian naira. As for the Nigerian naira, it had a green cloth that had tied it, as well as a red cloth. In between, there was a picture of a woman whom he later told me was his mother. And he told me that he had traveled from Nigeria with that same money after he had performed his ritual. My hands were shaky as I grabbed 1,880 and I ran out, and then I closed the door. The next morning, I went to ShopRite. I sent the money back home. That same day, Chief called me. I was in a taxi. I nearly flew out of the window after he said, "Ruva, I know what you did." I said, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" I had left my personal items there. So I said, let me just go and face him. Then I would work for the money. I'll explain to him that this is what happened. He was like, "I know you took my money. Don't lie to me." I started crying, apologizing, told him that it was for my mother's medicine. I expected him to fire me, but instead he said, "Okay, it's fine. You have the guts, and that is what I like. And because of that, I will help you." I did not understand what he meant, but he then told me about his own life story. He said he was once a Yahoo boy. He said, "I was once a Yahoo boy when I was still back home in Nigeria." You know what a Yahoo boy is? I said, "No. I was once an internet fraudster, but that is how I was making my money. But it is not how I made my real money. When I was still back home, I did a ritual, and this ritual, I was supposed to sacrifice my own parents. At first, I refused, but I was desperate for money, so I went ahead with it. I then put some poison in my mother's food, and within a week, she passed away. After her funeral, then my life changed, but then there were people that started to suspect, and then I ran away. I ran away from my country, and then I ended up being in this country. And this is how I made my money. So I don't like it when you steal the money, because it is the blood of my mother. You are stealing my mother's blood. But if you want, I can help you. I need to help you." So I then told him that I did not have anyone to sacrifice. And he was like, "Do you think that I had someone to sacrifice? It is your choice. It is your choice to become rich or to die poor." And that was when he said I could also sacrifice my mother. My mother, yes, that is what he said. You can sacrifice your own mother. That is how it all started. He took me to a priest, and after he had taken me to a priest, I was told that in 2 days' time, my mom was going to die. Yes, indeed. In 2 days' time, my sister called me. She was like, Ruva, Mom is no more. She has passed away." I dropped the phone. My body went numb. I could not even breathe. My mom had suddenly died in her sleep just after I had sent her money. I knew that it was not a coincidence. I went back, and then I started crying to the chief, and he said, "Nothing is for free in this world. You just need to go there, drink this, and the spirits are going to assist you. And after that, you need to return back." So I went back to Zim, and I mourned for my mother. I stayed, and then I returned back to South Africa. That is how I started making my own money. He helped me to settle down here in South Africa and started my own business with the help of this other woman from Eastern Africa. That is how I became a ritualist, and I am not proud of what I did, because when I came here, my main mission was to take care of my own mom and my siblings, not to destroy the woman who gave birth to me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.